And the unicast has been implemented only from the version 10.3.5, and it's been implemented by Oracle before 10.3.5, that is which is with BEA. So only multicast is there, and Oracle recommends unicast to be implemented in the real time in the production environments. And another disadvantage is here, all the managed servers should be in the same range. Okay, in this range, as well as they should be in the same subnet mask. Okay, so what is the subnet mask means that there should be in the same physical network. Okay, but in the unicast, the servers can be on different networks. Okay, so the communication happens, but in the multicast, so the server should be configured in the given range 224 to 239, and they should be on the same subnet mask. Okay, that means they should be on the same physical network. They cannot be spread over different physical networks. Okay, for example, I will show you. You might have known that one, right? For example, I'll take it to the virtual box. So we will see here if we can see the properties there. Yeah. So if you see here, for example, okay, I'll try to say, okay, you see here, says that subnet. Okay, so the subnet is here, your one. So it's like your physical subnet. So subnet gives you a physical address. Suppose if I make it as 136, for example, okay, so it won't make a error. That means that they should be in the same subnet mask. So physical network should be same. Okay, that is our disadvantage multicast. So, but in unicast, so what happens is it gives you flexibility that you need not mention any specific port IP address also. Okay, then there is no need to have your subnet mask on the same physical network. Okay, so that gives you more enhancement, that is more flexibility that your managed servers can be spread over in a different machine, physical machines. And the condition is here, the managed servers in the cluster should belong to the same domain. So we cannot include the managed servers which belongs different domains. Okay, so that one you have to make sure that they belong to the same. So servers on different data centers can use multicast. Yes, yes. That as long as they are the same physical network only, they can be used. Okay. Okay, and so the condition is the managed server should belong to the same domain. They cannot spread over different domain. That means if you have a base domain, so you only are creating a cluster. So one second, please. Hello. There was sir. Yeah, sorry for that. So that's the thing. So you have to use your, and the servers should be on the same patch set levels, and admin servers, the OS version as well as your WebLogic version should be more than your, the version should be higher than your managed servers. That's one of the thing you have to remember. Okay, and today we'll see a simple way to create your clusters. But so you can see the main use of this one when we are actually implementing your cluster with multi-node system as well as with your proxy. Okay. So the first thing is the managed servers in a cluster. Okay, they should belong to only one domain. Okay, that means the cluster to implement. So the cluster resource, that means whatever the managed servers in the cluster, they should belong to the same domain. Okay, you cannot cluster the servers which belongs to multiple domains. And the second thing is the patch set levels and the WebLogic server version levels should be higher for your admin server than your managed servers. It should be at least equal or more. You cannot have lesser patch set levels of your OS. At the same time, the WebLogic server version should be at least equal or more than your, because it's a backward compatibility. Okay, suppose your admin server is running on a machine where your WebLogic server 12c is running. Okay, because there it might have some extra features, but your managed servers can be running on your 11G, but it's not a vice versa. Okay, so the thing you should take care of it. Okay. Okay. So today we'll see how to do your clustering, but the real scenario we can see only when you are actually using your multi-node system. So which we are going to see it once we are done with the concepts, and we will see along with the combination of your proxy. So when you do your proxy only, you will know that instead of suppose if I shut down my MS1, but still my application will be running on MS2. So those things we will be seeing later stage. Okay, and the one more thing is there. So you might be asked, like, suppose in the middle of an application execution, suppose it is MS1 is down, but how that application is being handled by MS2. Okay, so we'll see that concept tomorrow. Today we'll see how to create the clusters. Okay. Suppose MS1 is down, and how is in the middle of your application? So which is actually very, very important, because if you don't have that, so the application should not be get down. And second thing is there should be some mechanism where my stopped on MS1 and MS2 should pick up the application where your MS1 stopped. It should not start from the starting of your application, right? Suppose you have 10 lines are there, 10 lines of code is there in the application. MS1 is done where your fourth line is executed. So from fifth line, the execution should start on MS2. So how it is taken care. So that is the important thing. We'll see tomorrow. Okay. So how the managed servers are taking that exactly in a cluster. Okay. So then you will see that, okay, if MS1 is down, who is going to take care of your MS2? So how it is going on, we'll see it tomorrow. Okay. So today we'll see how to create the clusters. Okay. So in the environment you will see clusters. Okay. And as you know that we have implemented a single machine, it's not a multi-node. So we have MC1 is there in that machine one. We have two managed servers. So here we are going to do a vertical clustering at the moment. Okay, MS1, MS2 belong to same physical machine. Okay. So now how we are going to do is go to clusters, log in edit and create. So now we are going to create a new cluster. So I'll make it as cluster 1 and messaging mode. How the communication should happen, whether it's a unicast or a multicast. So unicast, you need not to specify anything, it will take automatically. And the multicast, you have to give the multicast address on the IP port number. So generally we go for unicast, where it dynamically allocates because there is no restriction for the subnet mask here. Okay, say okay. Now say activate changes. So the cluster is created. Click on the cluster 1, and here if you see here, go to servers, and now you can add servers here. So there are two ways you can make use of the cluster. Create a cluster, add servers to it, or go to a server, okay, and add the server to a cluster. So we'll see both ways. So now say log in edit. I'm going to add one server. Click. Add. That means see here your admin server is not here. So basically you will now get to know that you cannot cluster an admin server. So pick up your MS and now you are adding. So if you are see here your servers in the list, there is MS one there. Now say activate changes. So this is one way we went to cluster. In the cluster we added server. Now we'll go another way. See here, you can see it here. It belongs to a cluster. Okay. Now go to MS2 and say login edit. And then you can see a column called cluster parameter. It's like attribute. Then you can see that cluster one there. So now what happens is you are adding a server into a cluster at the server level. Okay. Now say activate changes. Go to servers. You can see that. Okay. And in the clusters, you can see here, click on the cluster one, go to servers. You can see two. You can at any moment you can add or remove here. Okay. Now, how to deploy? So the deployment will take a bit. Okay. So at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm just uninstalling it. To deploy it again, say local edit, pick up, and now I'm going to delete the file like undeployment. This is called undeployment. Okay. Changes. Now again say login edit. I'm going to install it. Okay, and upload your file wherever source file is there. Now on the desktop, I have benefits.var file. Open it and say next. Benefits.var file is there. Copy it into upload directory and deploy it as a application. And see here all servers in the cluster. If you make it this one, so the best thing is to do like this. So then tomorrow if I add any server into the cluster, okay, so it's going to take that property. If we say that part of this cluster, so tomorrow if you add MS3, it is not going to copy into that MS3. If you want to have like that, like in the future, if I add any cluster, any managed server in the cluster, so then that application should be running on another managed server too, MS3. You choose the first option, like all servers in the cluster, irrespective of whether they are physically available now or not. Okay, and then next, and say finish. Then activate changes. Now say start the application. but from new it goes to active. Good thing. So just process not running. Okay, so it is actually in new mode. Okay, so this is how you are going to do it, but your actual way how to see the cluster so that becomes available only when you do a multi-node and you should configure them into a proxy. Okay, so how we do it, we'll do it later, not integrate with this Apache. Okay, so when we integrate this Bloy server with Apache, and irrespective of whatever the things are there, so you will get to, you don't know that which managed server it is going to do. So although your MS1 is down, your application will be running on MS2. So that is how your the clients will be getting the URLs. So you will do a proxy to them and they are going to use it. Okay. So this is the concept. So tomorrow we'll see, in the middle of the process, if your one managed server is down, how that is actually been handled. Important thing. So that's why I'm skipping it today. So we'll do that one on Monday. Okay. So any doubts, guys? Today's class. If you see here, go to cluster. I forgot to tell you. In the cluster, you can see that default load algorithm is there, round robin algorithm is there, and also go to monitoring, and you will see that the status of your managed servers. Now what I'm going to do is here, hello, see here, it is actually doing clusters. So you can see here, server MS1, the cluster. You see here, the servers are actually, server started in admin mode. So why? The other day I've discussed with you that it has failed to deploy to our application. Okay, see here, failed deployments. So I think there is some problem with the application. So install that one. So if that's why it came into admin mode. That means in interviews they will ask you that why your application servers start only in admin mode. This is the scenario. Applications, the deployment it is failed, it goes into admin mode. So what you can do is click on here. That okay. Go to control. And this one. That okay. Okay. So node manager is not there. We'll try to start it again. We'll see. Node manager not reachable. What is reachable? What I'm going to do is here, go to control. Let me resume. I'm going to see if it is to start. Here. So it is trying to deploy an application because before we have used some applications. Doing that one, now somehow it has started. Okay, so if there is an issue with the deployment, it is going to throw an error. Okay, so if you see here, go to the application now for deployments. It is active, fine. Now, so go to the clusters, which will show you clusters. Click on the cluster, go to monitoring. You see here, the local leader is MS1. So the leader will be there because we have implemented as a class unicast. So the group, so suppose now we started MS2 also, the group will become MS1, MS2, and the local letter will be your MS1. Okay, so this is how you will be having, suppose you do MS2, MS3, so randomly it is going to jump from one manage server to another manage server if they are down. Okay, you can see now that it is active. Okay. So you can't actual clustering concept here because you don't have so you don't have proxy. So, but we'll see at the end of the course of logic. So we'll see a complete end-to-end creation of multi-node. From there, we'll make two machines. From two machines, we'll make a cluster and we'll deploy it onto the cluster and we'll create a proxy. And everything we will do now. It takes 2 days time to set up the environment. So we'll do it the end of the course. Okay. Guys, any doubts for today's class? So if you see here, so you will be having the so that is at the hardware level. This is my so see the load balance as you know that you have a Apache, that's what you are asking, or you want say the external load balance. So there can be two scenarios, right? On what basis the other server should be, because you should know that okay, external is there, but from the external it will be sent to your actual from external it is going to come to your software load balance, which is Apache. Apache should be integrated with your will be integrated with your cluster, right? The cluster is going to the Apache is going to find which is actually having the load balance and send to that one. So for this purpose, the cluster should be integrated. So you can't see the load balance availability things here, but you will see when you integrate your clusters with your Apache. But they are not going to do anything. Okay, you will be having external load balance is there. 1 second, there is a so see here, this is my one of the production box, production logical architecture. You see here you have a physical load balance is there. Okay. and from there your software load balancer are there, like your Apache or OHS, and they are going to be integrated with the clusters. So you have a server clusters and ADF cluster and a BAM cluster. Okay, so they are integrated with your OHS, and OHS is actually in with your external load balancer. This is your, we say hardware load balancer, external load balancer. Here we use big IP. So from there, your request is sent to your software load balancers, which are your web servers like your WebLogic, sorry, your Apache or your OHS, whatever it is. So from there, it will be sent to your clusters. I mean, the cluster will be integrated with your Apache, and Apache knows what machine is running with high load and what machine is running with a low load, with a less load. Okay, so that is how you are going to balance the load on the managed servers. Okay. Okay, so you have any questions? Okay then. Okay then, guys. See you on Monday. So we say that the concept called session replication is there. So how has been managed in case of managed server failure. So if the managed server is failed at some certain point of your application, or your application is resumed onto separate another managed server, which is called your session replication. Okay, we'll see it on Monday. It's just some interesting topic. So after we finish that one, we have left with some security things, security and your SSL configurations and performance tuning. But performance tuning we will discuss in SOA, not with your because it's a part of your SOA. It comes more interesting. So we'll see how we will have performance tuning there in SOA. Okay. Okay, guys, I'll see you on Monday. Have a nice weekend. I'm leaving. Bye. Bye all. Bye all. Good night, guys, for Americans. Bye. Do you want to speak on here?
That,
Yes.
are you able to hear me?
Yes. Yes.
It's not actually regarding the class, but it's regarding the schedule actually. So that's the reason I wanted to call you.
Yeah. So you asked me about to make it a little bit further, right? 7:30.
Right. I mean, it's already like getting 11. So these days, so it's getting late for me.
Just wait for a couple of days. Actually, I am planning to have my internet in my home because you are asking to make it a little bit early. So actually, I'm coming to the institute regularly, but instead of that, so I want to keep an internet connection in my home, in my room, so that I won't have issues in traveling because I have to travel from my home. At least it takes 1 hour. I have to start early, so that 1 hour I can make it further around 7 o'clock, so that I can make it flexible for you. Just just bear with Monday, Tuesday. Meanwhile, I will try to find with internet provider and set it. Okay. I will try to make it.
Sure. Yeah.
So this week I was the work shifts, those things had some tight schedules. So I will try to make it around 7:30, but give me 2 days time. And Monday, Tuesday, then I will ask the network provider to give me connection ASAP, so that I can make it 7:30.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Bye guys. Have a nice weekend and catch you on Monday.